is going on, everybody? Welcome to Party on Broad. Today, we are breaking down everything you need to know between the Eagles and the Packers wild card round. Joining us, here's Ryan Reese at Philly Sports PSA. What's up, Ryan?
Not much. Playoffs are here. I'm ready to talk about it. Ready to have the full squad going against an injured Packers team coming into the link. It's going to be nuts.
Yeah, just night and day difference between these two teams. The Eagles have all healthy starters rolling into the playoffs as the Packers are really hurting, and we'll break it all down. Also joining us, Rob Langy at Philly_Menace on X. What's up, Rob?
I'm doing great. I'm just going to hold this up here. Hopefully, yeah, it's from last year. Doesn't count. Hopefully the next group that's going to be holding a trophy that looks similar to this, but is way more expensive and way heavier, will be the Philadelphia Eagles. So I am hoping for a good, nice, long run through January and into February for the Birds.
Absolutely. Guys, as always, if you're watching us live, please be sure to comment your thoughts on Eagles versus Packers. But as always, we're going to take a few minutes and talk our top takeaways about the Eagles win over the New York Giants. All right, lead us off, Rob. What was your top takeaway against the Giants?
That the Giants are terrible and have decided that they want to be terrible again by keeping Schoen and Dable in place, as they've said today. That really stuck out to me. I mean, I watched a team that was absolutely horrific, that didn't care, that didn't want to be there. This idea that they didn't quit yesterday is ridiculous, because they did. Because they had every opportunity to win that game and did not. Yeah, I mean, look, what the Eagles backups did was very good. Nostalgia was a word that came to mind for me, seeing a 54 in the backfield, making out tackles with the name Trotter on the back. I thought Tanner McKee played really well. I love the way this kid plays. But overall, it's just, my God, that franchise should really just be embarrassed at this point. They should really be embarrassed. The two New York franchises in one of the biggest media markets there is are an embarrassment of all kind. If they bring Rex Ryan back in to be their coach, so help me God, I won't even know what to do with myself.
Yeah, it was a roller coaster of emotions, because like halfway through the first quarter, end of first quarter, I was like, Saquon would have went off for like 200 yards.
Oh my God.
Like from the jump, like this team was half-assing it on the field. It was obvious. Every time they were in fourth down situations, just tell me you're tanking without telling me you're tanking. It was beyond obvious. We have Anthony chiming in saying, calling it now. 3 picks this game for the Birds. Q gets his first. Speaking to the heart, man. That would be the most unbelievable moment. I hope you're right, Anthony. We got my man Anthony DeBona chiming in. Stuck at work due to the snow. My God, man. But anyway, if you're not following Anthony, you're doing it wrong, especially if you're an Eagles fan. Does amazing work for Philly Sports Network covering the Birds. Go check him out, man. It's like him and like Sean Bernard are like, Sean's like my Sixers guy. If I'm like, because I don't follow X, like it's Sean. I run down his tweets, and then it's Anthony. So make sure you go check him out. Little G's in the house.
Little G.
Happy birthday to your brother. Ryan, what was your top takeaway?
That Kenny Gainwell sucks.
Oh, don't get me started.
I knew that. I knew it. I knew it was going to get you.
About that until you just brought it up. That little SOB cost me $3,700 on a 9-man. I picked 9 guys to score a TD, and every single one did, except for him.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I mean, listen, you just talked about it. You just said Saquon would have ran for like 200 in the first half. I'm sorry, but Gainwell was 11 for 14. Like this was the guy that everybody was clamoring for. That oh man, like listen, I was getting a lot of heat for everybody loving Kenny Gainwell. You know what, Kenny? Here's your shot, buddy, against a wounded, could not give two shits Giants team, and that's what you do. I'm sorry, buddy, but
there's no one.
I'll die. That'll be the last
than
regular
Ryan.
season game. We see you in Midnight Green. I cannot wait for you to get
There's
off.
no one happier than Ryan Reese today. No one.
Absolutely.
Ryan's been waiting for this moment. It took 18 weeks, but here we are.
Yeah.
Because Kenny Gainwell has been terrific. Anthony says, so you would say his name is Kenny Losewell?
Yeah, well,
Kenny lose 3,700.
Get
Well,
that F off my team. I don't care what you call him, but I'll be calling him unemployed.
oh,
Takeaway has to be Tanner McKee, at least to lead off. He was absolutely
pretty good.
remarkable. Calm under pressure. Nice to see a tall quarterback stand with poise inside that pocket, get the ball out with timing. It was a completely different offense under Kellen Moore, for better or worse, with Tanner McKee. Didn't really throw well when he was rolling out of the pocket, but I want to see more of that with Jalen Hurts. Still needs to work on that, but he was making smart decisions with the ball. He gave his guys good chances to make plays, and a couple of throws were off target. There were a couple of times that probably could have been intercepted, but he looked downright solid against the blitz. Tanner McKee is him, man. I'm really excited about what he's going to bring to the Philadelphia Eagles next year. He should have been QB2 at the start of the regular season.
Stop it. Oh, my God. Stop.
You're a Pittsburgh fan. Get out of here, man.
Stop. Tanner McKee sucks. He's got nothing wrong.
Any small heads can take his cracked ribs and go somewhere else. We got Tanner McKee.
My God.
It's night and day.
This guy. The only thing he has done is look good against fourth stringers in preseason and against the Giants team that could not care less about being there.
He had 4 passes and 3 touchdowns at one point.
All right, here's some stats for you.
I think I could have done at least half of that.
Oh, Jesus.
You're not that good.
Tanner McKee.
I'm not gonna lie.
Tanner McKee is the second quarterback in NFL history drafted in the 6th round or later to throw 250 more yards, complete 65% of his passes, and pass for 2 touchdowns and no picks in his first NFL start, man.
He had the most first half yards of the season for the Eagles yesterday.
Okay, that's not saying much either. I mean, for crying out loud. First of all, talk about you know what, at the end of the game where it's call it garbage time. Well, this whole game was garbage time. So I don't want to hear it. Listen, I like him. He's fine. He's great at what he is as a third stringer. And you know what? And if ever, God forbid, he ever needs to be bumped up to second string, that's fine too. But let's not anoint him the next, Travis Fulgham or name whatever random ass guy that Eagles fans love to fall in love with that we all know deep down in our hearts doesn't deserve to be starting out there. But some reason we fall in love with him and we give him all this praise for doing the littlest bit of actual work. Like, again, you're making me hate this guy because you guys love him so much.
The only headline that I got out of all that is Ryan Reese hates Tanner McKee. That's all
You son of a bitch.
That's all I heard on that rant. I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
Do you even like the Eagles anymore, Ryan?
Yeah. Ryan Reese roots against Eagles is the new headline, I think, that we need to put out there. I made him leave. I knew I'd get it there at some point.
All I heard from that Ryan rant was this.
Okay.
Straight Debbie Downer all over the place. My God.
All right, listen, I'm not trying to be, but let's not anoint him as something.
You're not trying to be, but you are.
Oh my God. Anyway, can I also just say it was really good to see Anaya Smith get a touchdown.
Yeah.
And it was really good to see Jahan Dotson actually look like a wide receiver.
That was nice.
7 for 94. This is what we were hoping to see. Maybe a little bit of glimpse. But again, it's good to know that even in a garbage game, in garbage time, again, with a third string quarterback, he's still able to put at least some numbers up there. So
yeah, Dotson looked really good, and a lot of people question whether or not he still got it. He still got it. He's just in a numbers game. And
can I ask Q real quick, and I'll let him comment. Because it seems like you were a little late here. Tell me your Kenny Gainwell report after that game. I'll hang up and let you answer.
I was honestly not that impressed from Will Shipley. I expected a little more as well. Yeah. Definitely has tunnel vision. That one play where he caught the screen and made a couple of missed tackles was nice. Yeah. But outside of that, I mean, they were really. I honestly didn't like the game plan from Kellen Moore from the standpoint where they were passing it on first down and running heavy on second down. I don't know. Just my take. Let us know your thoughts, Tech, and then we'll go from there. Any other takeaway? Jahan Dotson was awesome. I think if in the event A.J. Brown goes down, Jahan Dotson is going to be fine. He's going to be fine. You were waiting for that comment for sure.
Yeah. Tech is making ridiculous accusation. Tech, he cost me $3,700, bro. He cost me $3,700. I can never forgive him for that.
Ever. I'm glad I at least have Rob now on my
side. You got me.
Kenny Gainwell train.
Oh my God.
I
didn't even realize he was the only one until later in the night when I went back and I looked, because I was like, you know what? I was like, a lot of those guys I think I had there scored. And I went back and looked, and when he was the only X, I was like, this son of a bitch.
I was for sure that this was going to be the time I had to pay up for the Kenny Gainwell bet of him scoring a touchdown. But ever since people started making a big deal about it, he hasn't done diddly squat.
All right. Any other takes on the game? I don't really have any other takes.
Now let's move on. Let's flush
Jordan Davis was awesome. Oren Burks, I thought, was head and shoulders better than Jeremiah Trotter Jr. Trotter Jr. is going to be a good player. He's going to be good, but he's not ready.
Needs some time.
Can I just say your thoughts, guys, on the strange decision to play Jordan Davis the whole game?
I don't think it was that strange. I think what you saw was the coaching staff telling you that they think Milton Williams is their second best D tackle, and Davis still needs more time. And he's coming into his own. He's getting better. He made a lot of plays, which I thought was good. I'm glad he got out of there healthy. Amazing. You played a guy a whole game and he got out of there healthy. That's amazing. If only you did that for a half and got a guy a freaking
hats
record.
Off to Dallas Goedert for actually surviving a game. So
and God, man, I wish he could stay healthy because he does make such a difference.
He does.
He makes such a difference.
Yeah. He's going to be huge against Josh Jacobs this week, as we'll get to in just a little bit. But I think on the opposite side of the spectrum, the only other starter to play was Bryce Huff, and he was non-existent. He's not like the fact that Jalex Hunt played more than Bryce Huff. My God. We have Tech saying he's a heathen. Clearly not an Eagles fan.
Listen.
Clearly a Cowboys fan.
Oh. Come on now. Don't say things you can't take back.
Ryan Reese hates the Eagles.
I had a nerve.
I will flip this.
All right, let's get into top storylines. Let's get into top storylines and matchups of the week. Eagles versus Packers. Will week one end, or will the Packers season end just like I screwed that up really bad.
Yes, you did.
It was horrible. We're live. This is what we do here. And I'm excited. I'm excited because, I wanted Washington, and coming into Week 18, I was a little nervous about the Packers. I'm not nervous anymore. I'm excited because I think they blow the doors off either of these teams.
Mhm.
And I mean, there was a lot of talk about whether or not the starters should play Week 18 for the Philadelphia Eagles. And my God, man, guys were dropping like flies all throughout Sunday. And we have Christian Watson, who is definitely out. Jordan Love went out for a little bit, could have returned.
He's playing, but
He's playing for sure. But Christian Watson's a big injury. He's a big injury. We'll get into all of it. But I'll throw it to you, Ryan, first. What's a top storyline, top matchup between the Eagles and the Packers?
Well, listen, the Eagles have an opportunity to do something that's never been done in the NFL, in the history of the NFL. And that is beat one opponent on two different continents in one season. And that will absolutely happen on Sunday at the Link. Listen, I think this comes down to the Packers run game against our front seven. And honestly, our run defense, I think, matches up really well against Josh Jacobs and the O-line of the Packers. And again, the Packers are dealing with a lot of injuries on the offense, so they are probably going to rely heavy on that run game. And I think the Eagles are primed to stuff that line and to stuff Josh Jacobs and the Packers. So that's the main matchup that I'm looking at. I'm not too worried about their passing game. I'm not too worried about their pass defense against us. So listen, I think as me and Rob, argued last week. Yeah, Rob made some great points. The Packers haven't played anybody. They haven't beaten anybody. They lost to Chicago at the last second this past week. They look lost out there. Jair Alexander isn't going to be out there. That's a huge loss. That means AJ Brown, who already went crazy in Brazil, is going to go even more nuts. And they're going to be focusing on that. That means Saquon's going to be running for 1 billion yards. I can't wait. I cannot wait for a 20-point victory over the Packers. This is going to be a slaughter fest.
Yeah, that's my biggest matchup to watch. You nailed it, Ryan. Yeah. It's Jair Alexander being out is ridiculously huge. They have a cornerback named Keyshawn Nixon. He's got 10 missed tackles, a QB rating allowed when targeted of 99.7. He's allowed 56 receptions on 82 targets for 501 yards, and he's allowed 5 touchdowns. So one thing I really liked about the last couple of weeks was Devontae Smith getting a lot of targets. I expect Jalen Hurts to find whatever matchup they can on this guy, Keyshawn Nixon. Keep an eye on that one because we all know Xavier McKinney's legit. Sure. We all know Rashawn Gary's legit. But my gosh, I think if they could really focus in on that mismatch, that bodes really well for the Birds for A.J. Brown or Devontae, whoever they got. Rob, do you have a storyline or matchup?
Yeah, I mean, I think the key, as Ryan was kind of alluding to, is you got to put the game in Jordan Love's hands. One of my arguments for saying I kind of wanted the Packers on top of I don't like the hot team. I like the team that's kind of limping in. Was Jordan Love has been very inconsistent this year. He's been very up and down. He's had some games where he looked incredible, and then he's had some games where he just looked completely lost. And I think if you put the game in his hands only, I think that he has a better chance of being lost if he doesn't have that running game behind him. But with that said, just to be different, I do think it's important for our corners, even without Christian Watson. You still have Romeo Doubs, you still have Tavian Wicks, you still have Jalen Reed and Tucker Kraft. You have some weapons out there. Our secondary has to be ready to not allow the big play. All right. The one problem they had in that first game was they missed a lot of tackles, and Green Bay had a lot of big plays early in that game. If you remember, I actually just went back and watched every touchdown in that game. And there was it just for a while there, it just seemed like Green Bay just kept running just bombs or catching the ball short and breaking tackles. Eagles are very different defensively, but they've got to make sure that they're locked in. And as long as they're locked in, I tend to agree with Ryan. I don't know if this game's close.
Yeah, my gut feeling is they win this by at least 7 points. At least 7 points. And I honestly think it's like the biggest matchup heading into this one is the Eagles themselves and not making mistakes.
Yeah.
And I look straight at Xavier McKinney, one of the biggest playmakers in the NFL. He's been arguably a defensive player of the year. He's got 7 interceptions. He's got elite range. He's got elite ball skills. He's tied with Kirby Joseph for most picks in the league. And then on the edge, Rashawn Gary is very solid. He hasn't put up a ton of sacks, like getting home wise, but he does. His pressure percentage and pressures are right up there. He's been a very, very solid player. So really, for me, Jalen Hurts versus Gary and McKinney, and just eliminating turnover-worthy plays. Get the ball out fast, just like we saw. I know the Giants game is meaningless, but get the ball out fast, get it to Devontae, get him in space, and that's a big key. Yeah, go ahead, Ryan. I thought you wanted to say something.
Yeah, no. I was just going to say, obviously Christian Watson, a huge loss for them. But remember, Jayden Reed was the one who really kind of torched us, 138 and that touchdown. And then also, of course, the rushing touchdown. So, I think the fact that you don't have Watson to kind of worry about, we're also a very different team than we were, back then. And likely so are the Packers. But, again, looking at the Packers, Rob said it best. They're the ones limping in to the playoffs. And they couldn't beat a Bears team, and they were still playing for something. And it's not like they took out all their starters and whatnot. They were playing, and they struggled against the Bears team. So again, this is all great things. I think the Eagles themselves, in my opinion, should make it to the championship game if they don't beat themselves. And it starts with the Packers. And I think, honestly, we beat them by 2 scores plus.
As a scared Eagles fan, of course I go straight to the refereeing. Of course I go to the field. Like I go to things that are not in control for the Eagles. Like remember the field week 1 against the Packers in Brazil? That field was horrible.
Yeah, they all switched cleats and
remember that?
We're at the link, baby. We're at the link.
Right. So, like, that's my take. Is it's a
solid ground, baby.
And look, and I know, and listen. This is what our fan base does, right? The fan base looks at the last time Green Bay, we opened the season with them, and then they came in for the first round of the playoffs, and they beat the Eagles and Mike Vick and that whole thing, and everyone goes, "Oh my God!" But they must forget the 4th and 26 game. They must forget the constant times that they just beat down Brett Favre and the Packers in the past.
Up there.
If anything, I feel like the Eagles have had the Packers number in more cases than none. And I think because of how the Packers come in here, because they really have to decide if they're going to help out their back end because no Jair Alexander, or if they're going to sell out to stop Saquon and put it in Jalen's hands, I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, this is a great stat, great comment from T. Grant. Packers ranked 3rd most in man coverage, perfect for AJ. Yeah. AJ has torched man coverage all year long.
And their best man corner is not even going to be there, so that's going to be even worse.
We have some prop bets coming. We'll go over it, and AJ is a part of that. We'll be there in a little bit. How do the Eagles get the Commanders' independent concussion doctor? I don't get it. Anybody get that one? Independent?
I think just because of the fact that Jalen is still in concussion protocol.
Right. Oh, he'll be fine.
And some of these other guys.
They cleared in about 3 seconds. Yeah.
Why are talking about the first game? This defense.
We understand. They played each other, so it has to be discussed.
That's completely different. And we've even said that we're obviously different teams. And listen, the Eagles, for the first time since 1991, ranked 1st in yards against. as a total yards defense. That's who. Raise your hand if you had that in the beginning of the year.
It's crazy.
No, after 4 games,
Not even close.
no.
It's the biggest
Guys,
differentiator
After starting the
between
season,
Eagles and the rest of the NFC.
after starting the season 2-2, and Dibes calling for Nick Sirianni's job, they went they went 12-1 the rest of the way, and the only loss was after Jalen Hurts was knocked out of the game. Dibes is out, or Ryan's out again. Ryan said, "I'm done."
It's twice now. It's all
Oh.
fake. It's all fake.
You know,
I've actually been there. It's pretty spectacular.
yeah, it looks it. I just wonder when that all comes down and he puts up his Emmitt Smith jersey.
Rob, I'm telling you, you're saying things you can't come back from.
I can't wait for Twitter to pick this up when I make it a real story and be like, I cannot believe Ryan Reese changes allegiances.
It's crazy. Yeah, breaking news.
Oh
Ryan,
my God, I will.
Cowboys fan. Tony Romo forever.
I mean, the only thing I'm bad for was hoping someone did well on the Eagles, and he absolutely never made the team. You guys are just rooting against them. Dodge wants Sirianni fired. Ryan, hates the Eagles.
No, I
Hates-
was a Sirianni supporter. I just don't
To
like
see-
Terry freaking Gainwell. That's it.
Wants to see Tanner McKee fail. I mean, he's basically said that here today.
No, come on, no. I just don't like people overhyping people.
I'm a Cowboys fan, and even I know the Eagles are going to wipe the floor.
I've never met this guy in my life.
I am. I always try to go inside the numbers. Like, so Christian Watson's out. Who the hell is going to step up? Romeo Dobbs.
Honestly, it's what's his name? Reed is the only one. Like Wicks and Dobbs are good complementary pieces.
Yeah,
Reed's got some speed. Reed's got a lot of talent. He's one that. But I mean, honestly, if you can hold Jacobs, down, I don't think that the Packers can win in the hands of Jordan Love right now because I just think he's been too inconsistent.
yeah, he really is. Listen, when he is on, he is a good quarterback. But again, as Rob said, he's very inconsistent, and it's even sometimes within quarter to quarter. So you never know what you're going to get with this guy.
How about Luke Musgrave versus Zach Vaughn and CJ? I mean,
Him and Tucker Kraft. I think Tucker Kraft is a bigger.
Got a couple of good guys there.
Can I give you a mind-blowing stat that I just came across? All right. First of all, Luke Musgrave, extremely athletic. Hasn't really had that breakout season that we expected in 2024, but he could be the field stretcher, like Rob said, like Rob alluded to, like a big play waiting to happen if they find it. However, the Eagles allow the league fewest yards against tight ends this season. 500
For the first time ever.
Isn't that nuts?
That's crazy.
It's like I have nightmares of years ago.
Right.
Like,
How many times were like,
tight end after tight end.
Jason
tight end is going to torch us for 150
Jason Witten,
yards.
Martellus Bennett. Every game, every year, it was, you got to stop the tight end. That's what they got to do. It's unbelievable.
Anyway. Yeah, you're right. We haven't seen him in a while. Krabby old one.
Post game.
Yeah,
He was hanging out with us yesterday for post game.
There you go.
But I don't know where he's always like hit or miss. He'll show up. He'll show up in the comments. He always gives an apology for being late. He's he or she. I don't even know.
He's good people. He's good people.
Yeah, great. He's absolutely great. You look at other matchups: Saquon versus Edgerrin Cooper and Quay Walker. Your boy Edgerrin Cooper, Ryan, is going to have a huge week. He was the Packers' highest graded defender last week in Week 18. He hasn't been perfect by any stretch.
But he's been pretty good this year for a rookie.
He's been very good. He's been very good. But Quay Walker has been terrible. He's not lived up to his expectations. That was a big question mark for the Packers to shore up the middle of the Green Bay defense. And he's struggled. And there's been guys like Edgerrin Cooper. There's been guys like Eric Wilson kind of fill in for Quay Walker and have played well. But Quay Walker could be another mismatch the Eagles could address, like on a wheel route to Saquon, things like that. I would like
I
to see
remember
more outside runs from Saquon this week. And that kind of feeds into my next matchup. It's really the interior offensive line for the Eagles versus Devontae Wyatt and Kenny Clark. Devontae Wyatt's a young, up-and-coming player, awesome, but Kenny Clark sucks. And I feel like when this Eagles O-line, when this Eagles rushing attack is just off the charts dominant, it's when the interior O-line is just pushing people and getting to that second level, the pulls, everything. For me, it starts there. But we already know Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson are elite. It's ridiculous. Mailata was snubbed.
But Mailata can't be a Pro Bowler.
I don't understand it. It's not his fault. Lane Johnson's on the other side.
Yeah, who cares? What are they going to just hand it over to that bum in San Francisco every year?
So long story short, on all three levels, I don't know where the Packers can match up with this Eagles offense. It really comes down to Jalen Hurts making stupid throws or Kellen Moore abandoning the run. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah. Kellen Moore being more concerned about his Saints interview.
I saw that. I was like, gross.
Is that? I didn't even see that. That's a thing.
Saints requested permission.
Saying they're requested. Also, did you see that the Bears requested permission from Mike McCarthy?
And Dallas hasn't given them a response yet. You want to talk about a train wreck?
I love this time of year.
I know.
What? I don't get it. I mean, from an Eagles perspective, I hope they don't respond. Keep McCarthy in Dallas. He sucks, man.
Brandon Graham said on NFL on what's it called yesterday morning over on ESPN. He said, "I hope they do keep Mike McCarthy, so we keep whipping their ass."
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to our top X factors to watch on Sunday. Top X factors to watch. Underrated guys that could have a huge impact in the result. Lead us off, Ryan. Why is it Jalen Hurts this week?
Listen, I'm not going to cheat like you do every week. Come up with some like, I'm going to go with the assistant wide receiver coach. No, listen. It is 100% somebody like Milton Williams.
Oh, that was number one on my head. Nice.
And, again, like I said, that line is going to be the determining factor of whether or not the Packers can even, I'm not even saying win, I'm just saying be even in this game. Because if Josh Jacobs isn't a factor, and if they're constantly putting pressure on Jordan Love, what the hell are they going to do? So all I can say is Milton Williams is going to have himself a nice game. Obviously, as Rob alluded to, with Jordan Davis playing the whole game, that clearly Milt is number 2 in the pecking order. But it's going to be a combined effort by that run defense to shut down Josh Jacobs, force them to pass. Then we can pin our ears back, go after Love, shut down this offense, and then just score 40 points and just whip their ass.
Milton Williams is a great choice. That was my number 1. But I've got a number 2. What about you, Rob?
I was going defensive tackle, and because he's no longer number 2, I was going Jordan Davis because to me it's stopping the run game. And what is he going to be in on? He's going to be in on those rundowns to plug up that hole. And on top of that, to keep the linebackers clean, to make those darts that they've been doing all year and getting guys down in the backfield. To me, Jordan Davis is going to be a key factor. I think all the defensive tackles, I think all the D tackles are going to be big, but I'm going to go with Jordan Davis as my X factor.
Yes.
Krabby, we were talking about you earlier. Just throwing that out there. Thanks for joining, Krabby.
Let's effing go.
We've got Patrick in the house. Let's go, Birds. Let's go. That's where my head was for this game. Interior push, everything starts there with Jalen Carter and what it means for the rest of this defense on all three levels, but especially on the edge for Josh Sweat. By the way, I ran a poll and a lot of people got it wrong. This player actually had the fewest number of votes on the poll. Who had the most pressures for the Eagles this season?
Sweat?
Yeah.
Josh Sweat.
That's
Sweat.
what I was going to guess.
Yeah. A lot of people got that wrong. A lot of people went Jalen Carter. A lot of people went Milton Williams. So it was Josh Sweat. But anyway, can I say Dallas Goedert? Is that fair?
Yeah.
Dallas Goedert, I mean, for me,
Yeah.
I even read something about him today about still being a top 5 tight end in the NFL. I think we can put that to bed. Let's stop. Let's just stop. But at the end of the day, this team, with how much they run 12 personnel, for better or worse, I hate it. I don't like it. But Dallas Goedert looked really good against the Giants, looked in sync with Tanner McKee, whatever it means. But at the end of the day, they need his run blocking. They need him to be a presence in the middle of the field in that intermediate range. Give me Dallas Goedert as my X factor. I think he is a huge variable. If you're going to think about where the Eagles are weakest, it's special teams and tight end. And luckily, the Green Bay Packers special teams also suck. So where we are struggling, so do they. So that's kind of a wash. And we'll get into picks and score predictions very soon. But Krabby says, I just went looking in the comments to see if you're all acting up.
Ryan he hates the Eagles.
Yeah, Ryan said he hates the Eagles. Brianna, what's going on? Thanks for joining.
You guys are bullying me, and I don't feel safe.
You're in the privacy of your own home, you weirdo.
All right. Any other X factors to watch before we get into picks and score predictions?
No, let's keep moving before I pass out.
Let's roll on to our score predictions. Krabby says, we knew you was a Dallas Cowboys fan. All right. Let's get to – usually we kind of wait for Birds of the Round Table and we go from there. But it is NFL playoffs and we are jumping ahead. Let's start off with Rob. Team winner and score prediction. Go for it, man.
I think the Eagles are going to win. I think they'll put up 34 points again against Green Bay, but they're not going to give up 29. I'm going to say 34. Let's say 14. I think they roll. I really do. I think they get ahead early and then kind of put it in cruise control, maybe give up a late touchdown, but nothing that really matters.
Ryan.
Obviously Birds. I'm going to say I'm going to go 31-10.
Okay. Wait, that's not you.
That is not me. I am me.
He picks the Cowboys to win, I think.
What?
I'll go. Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. Every part of me thinks this is a 2-score game. I'll go 28-14. Eagles get the W. That's 42, and I'm under. But me and Ryan are under. Player of the game.
Only losers play the under, boys.
Player of the game, Rob.
Player of the game. I'm going to go A.J. Brown. I think A.J. is going to have a big day as they're going to be able to get him away from now that Jair Alexander's out of the game. They'll get him good matchups. If they're going to go man-to-man against A.J., forget it. It's over. Big day for AJ.
Ryan.
Saquon. Broccoli. He's gonna run all over because they're gonna be so scared about stopping AJ. They're gonna forget about good old Saquon.
Yep, those are my top two. Give me Jalen Hurts.
There you go.
That's kind of chalk, but it is what it is. Over under Josh Jacobs rushing yards 49.5. Ryan.
Ooh, man, that's tough. But I still think they get over. But he's in the 50s.
Wow.
Yeah, I think they go over that number, but I think they're under 70, which is where you want them to be. Somewhere between 50 and 60, I think, is where he ends up.
Same.
I think it's going to be like 70 or 80, but total, not Josh Jacobs. With like Jordan Love
a couple of those other guys.
All those bums.
I'm going under. We have Tech saying 24-20. I love it.
Oh boy.
Krabby thinks we're winning, but not rolling. I'm not going to throw up that other comment.
No,
all right. Jalen Hurts versus Jordan Love. Who has more passing yards, Rob?
I'm going to say Hurts. I do. I think, I mean, maybe Love passes him because he ends up having to throw the ball a lot late. But I'm still going to stick with my guy Hurts. I think the Eagles are going to throw the ball a lot.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Love for that exact reason you just stated, that there's going to be some garbage time that he's going to need to throw the ball up. Plus, again, I feel like Hurts loves kind of spreading the ball around, give it to Saquon. Obviously, he's my player of the game, so I gotta glean that way anyway.
Yep, Hurts it is. Over under on receptions for Devontae 5.5. Ryan.
Ooh, that's a good line. I'm gonna go under.
Under for Ryan. What about you, Rob?
Yeah, I think he ends with 5 on the dot, so I'm going to go under.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
God, it's so up and down. You never know what the game plan is going to be.
Yeah.
Give me over. I'm going over. For the sake of being different, AJ Brown versus the Eagles field. Who has more touchdowns?
AJ Brown.
All right.
The shocker of an answer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go.
You can also say like a wash, like even.
I'm gonna go field.
I think the Eagles are going to score 4 touchdowns, and I think AJ could have 3 of them.
I'm also going to do that. Yeah, I don't think they have anybody that matches up against AJ. I mean, nobody has anybody that matches up.
It was AJ who did not get to play in the playoff game last year. He wants to prove something tonight.
Over under rushing yards from Saquon 129.5. Rob.
I'm gonna say over because I think of the garbage time. Because I think garbage time, they're just gonna run the hell out of the ball once they get 31 points on the board.
Yeah,
Ryan.
that's also true. That's a good line. Damn, I'm gonna go over.
I'll go under.
Yay.
They're gonna be up 27-7 late in the game. And he's going to break one of those 50, 60 yarders for a touchdown. And that's going to be what puts him over to that number.
Yeah, I think they're obviously the Packers are going to try and take out Saquon in this game. They have a very good run defense. They're top 10 stopping the run. They're going to stack the box. I think it's a big Hurts game. AJ Brown receiving yards over under 99.5. Rob, over?
Yeah.
Ryan.
Over.
And I'm not going to be different there. Those are our picks, man.
By the way, my total was BS because I don't think I was given a chance to pick for about 7 weeks.
Yeah, that's fair. That's totally fair. There were several weeks where I literally
Once again, if it's not a Twitter poll that Dives is cheating on, it's that where he doesn't even give me the option to send him picks. Unbelievable.
Listen. I think it's because I broke him last year, whooping him during every single Twitter poll, YouTube poll, mock draft.
He
I
just rips
mean,
me off.
again, he couldn't.
So I'm gonna take it out on you, not me.
Well, listen, he's got to get wins where he knows he can get wins.
Oh my god.
To be fair, I have gotten my ass kicked like handedly by Ryan like the last like 16 months. It's been bad.
Dobbs would invite me to do a movie draft on Twitter. I would dominate it. I'd get to the finals and then somehow would lose like 85% to 15% every time. It was ridiculous.
Hey, there you go,
I thought
Dives.
you were for garbage.
There you go. Hey, there you go, Dives. Throw that. Throw a little 10 spot on that Josh Jacobs bet.
I don't gamble. Sorry.
Well, maybe
Sorry,
I'll have to do that
DraftKings.
for
Good
you.
move by you.
I am. I have dreams about gambling, and it's just not for me. I stay away. It's a personal choice.
As
Well,
well
listen,
you should.
Listen, I get it, but it's only a problem if you keep losing.
Fair. Like a side note, like I've been to Vegas and stuff, and I have gambled quite a bit, and I have won quite a bit. And every time I like do that, I will have these like dreams for like 2 weeks about like gambling, and I have that like OCD like personality that just is not for me. It's just not for me.
I get it.
So
Listen, I do great in Vegas. I do shit in AC. So go figure.
Yep. Just not for me, man. But if DraftKings wants to come on and be a sponsor, I'll talk.
You will
all
say,
over the place.
Through my morals, I'm freaking gambling.
We are back. No,
We're back.
All right. We are rolling out here. Ryan, final thoughts, Eagles versus Packers. Plugs, time is yours.
Yeah, listen, this I think ultimately was the best matchup that I think we could have hoped for. And they're coming in limping. We're gonna send them out limping even more. And listen, I have very fond memories of Packer games at the Link. Rob alluded to it earlier. I have a picture of it up on my wall over there of
You would have a
Mr.
picture of
Fred
Freddie
X.
Mitchell on your wall.
Mister, I'd like to thank my hands for making that wonderful 4th and 26 catch, and then
He might have been short
kicking
by
that
half a
field
yard.
goal. I actually punched my friend square in the jaw during that celebrating it because I was kind of ducked down like, oh no,
Yeah.
and then he caught it, and I jumped up and I just clocked him.
I just stood up and froze because I was like, oh, he's got to be short.
I was at Universal Studios at the hotel watching the game in my hotel room, and I literally fell to my knees and started crying.
Oh well, at least somebody was freaking warm.
Yeah, that shit was
I mean, mind you, my tickets back then were literally the last row. I literally turned around. I saw 95. It couldn't. The wind could not have been colder. It was miserable.
It was frigid there, man. It was
miserable that day. But man,
what does that mean?
What's a flyer? I don't even know what that is.
I mean, I know it. I know
Do
that they're
we do-
talking. They must be talking. Who is McCabe? What do you
do
mean
we
they
do
knocked him
flyers?
out?
Yeah, who the hell's McCabe?
We're getting. This is the first time
I haven't played.
here.
I haven't played NHL 24, so I don't know who the players are anymore.
Canadians are soft. I guess. Yeah.
So he's a Canadian, a damn Canuck. Get out of here.
Ryan, do you have any final
Oh,
thoughts on this game?
I feel like that could go a lot of ways there, Don. Yeah, listen, I'm loving where we're at. I cannot wait to be down there. It's supposed to snow like 7 inches, 9 inches
Yeah, big
on
storm coming.
Saturday. So I hope they do a good job of plowing out the tailgate spots because I'm gonna be down there. M3. If you're down there, come over to MLOT. Shoot me a message right here on X. Come have a beer. Beer's always free. And yeah, we'll party it like it's any old day because we beating them Packers.
Rob, final thoughts, plugs.
It should be a good one. Look, they lose. It's going to be really depressing. It's going to be really depressing. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're in good shape. I think you're going to get the win, and then you may get a chance at some Tampa Bay revenge the following week if they get past the commies. Tech, I love it. But you catch me at Philly_madness. I would say more, but as I told the gentleman before the show, both of my daughters have had the flu, and I think I got a touch of it. And I feel like I need to lay across the couch and not move for the next few hours. So thanks, guys. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely. I put out a few videos, like highlight reels. Go check them out on the Birds. Defensive highlight reels, best deep passes by Jalen Hurts. They're fun, man. They're really fun. It's been a terrific season. Let's keep that rolling against the Packers on Sunday. We'll be back tomorrow night for Birds of the Roundtable at Eagles Pinpool, 8 p.m. East Coast time, talking more Eagles versus Packers. What's up, Rob?
I just want to congratulate Rob. You and I, our first 2 episodes are shorts. No, of course not. Our 2 short episodes on YouTube have been doing really good. We appreciate the support on Disagree to Agree as working title. We'll figure it all out, but more to come from
the only
Rob
reason it's working is because I came up with it, and Ryan doesn't like that.
No.
By the way, great
horse
photos.
Woo! Ryan wins another poll, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, because you're all babies. You're all babies. He would have had 100 in the first 2 series of the game, the way that defense was playing. He would have 105 yards on 3 carries, and it would have been over.
Right. Ryan always loves a good poll. That's for sure. All right. Krabby says, good show. Rob, vitamin D, zinc, little oil of oregano.
If you want to send that all my way, that'd be great.
God damn.
Our D-line gets held every play. They don't call it. It's crazy. Illinatic. It's crazy. I don't even know what to say about it anymore. Don, thank you.
Don, that was the cleanest comment you made the whole show.
It was. Yeah.
All right, guys. We are wrapping it up. Go check out Eagles Pinpool. We did a post game yesterday. We'll be back for Birds of the Roundtable tomorrow. Eagles versus Packers matchups to watch videos. Shorts will be coming out all throughout the week. Be on the lookout for that. He is Ryan Reese at Philly Sports PSA. That is Rob Langy at Philly_Madness. I am Dabs, Mr. Crockpot. We out. Go Birds. Stay awesome, everyone.